Higher gasoline and diesel prices are currently draining an extra $500 million from the American economy every single day. Not per month, not per quarter, per day. While you're watching the news debating interest rate cuts, the reality on the ground is sprinting in the opposite direction. With tensions in the Middle East threatening to bottleneck the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most sensitive energy artery, we are looking at a potential reality where 20% of the world's oil supply simply vanishes from the market. Brent crude is already flirting with the $109 to $112 range, but the shadow of $120 is looming larger than ever. The price at the pump is the headline, but it's actually the smallest part of the financial wreckage heading your way. There are 5 specific waves of price increases moving toward your bank account right now, and most people are standing on the beach with their backs turned. I'm Grant, and today on Money with Grant, we're going to look at why your brain is actively lying to you about this crisis and exactly what it's going to cost you if you don't override your own survival biology. Let's talk about Wave 1, gas prices. The national average has been creeping back up toward the $4.11 mark, while in places like California, $5.92 is the new floor. But your brain is performing some dangerous mental accounting. You're thinking, okay, I'm spending an extra $25 a week on gas. I'll just skip a few morning lattes. You filed this under manageable inconvenience. You're wrong. Psychologists call this a spillover effect. When your fuel bucket overflows, you don't adjust rationally, you panic emotionally. You cancel the gym, you pause your 401k contributions, and you suddenly decide that staying in is a lifestyle choice rather than a budget constraint. And honestly, looking at your Uber Eats history from last month, little discipline wouldn't hurt, but panic-cutting your future for a temporary fuel spike is how you end up broke at 65. Wave 2 is hitting the grocery aisle as we speak. We're talking about perishables, meat, dairy, and produce. These goods don't just magically appear, they move on refrigerated trucks powered by diesel. Diesel is the literal blood of the global economy. When diesel prices spike, the cost of moving that organic avocado or that carton of eggs goes vertical. Retailers have been absorbing costs for months, but their margins are now thinner than a crypto influencer's apology. One major economist warned that once businesses stop eating these costs, the sticker price catches up at light speed. If you think your grocery bill is high now, just wait until the diesel surcharge hits your Sunday brunch. Wave 3 is the invisible killer, fertilizer. This is a financial time bomb with a 6-month fuse. Up to 80% of the cost of producing nitrogen fertilizer is tied directly to natural gas. The regions currently in the geopolitical crosshairs are the world's fertilizer titans. 1/3 of global supply relies on those trade routes staying open. The food you're going to buy 6 months from now is getting more expensive today because farmers are paying a massive premium for inputs. Right now, by the time you notice the price of bread doubling, the cause will be half a year old. You're playing a game of catch-up with a market that's already moved on. Wave 4 is the service squeeze. Jet fuel is up significantly, and airlines are already baking fuel recovery fees into your summer vacation plans. If you were planning to find yourself in Europe this year, you might find yourself in your backyard with a hose instead. But Wave 5 is the final boss, interest rates. The market has been begging the Fed to cut rates, but if energy-driven inflation stays hot, those cuts aren't coming. In fact, the higher for longer mantra just got a second wind. If you were waiting to refinance that high-interest car loan or buy a home, the math just shifted while you were busy scrolling. Why didn't you see this coming? It's called anchoring bias. You're using the gas station sign as a proxy for the entire global economy. Because $4.11 feels manageable compared to the record highs of 2022, you assume the crisis is moderate. But while you're comparing today to last month, the pros are comparing today to the 1973 oil embargo. You're running outdated mental software in a high-frequency world. Your portfolio is already feeling the heat, the S&P 500 is sweating, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ is looking shaky as energy costs eat into corporate earnings. Your amygdala is probably screaming at you to sell everything and hide. This is loss aversion. Research shows the pain of losing $1,000 feels twice as intense as the joy of gaining it. But history is a brutal teacher. The people who panic sold in previous energy crises locked in their losses, while the patient investors captured the eventual recovery. If you missed just the 10 best trading days in a decade because you were waiting for things to settle down, your total returns get cut in half. You cannot catch the sunlight if you run inside every time it clouds over. We are staring down stagflation, the ugly combination of high inflation and low growth. So what can you actually control? First, do not panic sell. Moving to cash right now replaces market risk with inflation risk, and inflation is currently eating cash for breakfast. Second, pressure test your emergency fund. If you don't have 6 to 9 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account, which by the way you're finally paying over 4.5 to 5%, start building it today. Your emergency fund isn't just savings, it's an insurance policy against your own fear. Third, audit your lifestyle before the waves hit. Don't wait for the fertilizer shock in 6 months to realize you're over-leveraged. Trim the fat now so you have a cushion later. Fourth, stick to your investment schedule. Dollar cost averaging is your best friend in a volatile market. You're essentially buying more shares when they are on sale. Years from now, the investments you make during this uncertainty will likely be your top performers. The difference between those who thrive and those who barely survive the next 24 months isn't IQ, it's response time. The winners are the ones who saw the signals early and made small, unglamorous adjustments while everyone else was still complaining about the price of gas. Your window to be proactive is open right now. The headlines are designed to make you panic. This channel is designed to make you act. If this changed your perspective on the next 6 months, drop a comment and tell me which wave you're prepping for first. And if you haven't subscribed to Money with Grant yet, do it now. This story is just beginning, and you don't want to be the one standing on the beach when Wave 5 hits the shore. Stay smart, stay calm, and I'll see you in the next one.